नमस्कार। आज आम डॉक्टर वासुदेव मिश्र सार पाखु वैदिक विज्ञान विषय जानिबा। से निजर परिचय को वैदिक वैज्ञानिक भाव में देइछंती। से ओडिया, हिंदी आउ इंग्राजी, संस्कृत चारोटी भाषा को व्यवहार करी से वैदिक विज्ञान को अति सुलभ भाव में आपण माननकु बुझाइबे। डॉक्टर वासुदेव मिश्र सर।
ओके, नमस्कार। से वैदिक विज्ञान कहले समस्ते बुझंती आधुनिक विज्ञानटा ठीक एवं वेदरे से संबंधी रेफरेंस कोठी अछि। Shall I speak in Odia or in English or something?
नहीं, आपण इंग्लिश हिंदी रे कोंतु ताले।
अच्छा, better I'll speak in English. अच्छा, normally whenever we talk about Vedic science, there is nobody who understands Vedic science. What they do is they think modern science is all right, and they try to find some similarity somewhere in the Vedic science, Vedic text. Wherever they find something similar, they think it is the Vedic science, it is in the Vedas. Modern science is in the Vedas. This is a highly wrong notion because the science of the Vedas are totally different, and according to that, modern science is totally wrong. It needs rectification. Every theory, each and every theory. And this is a challenge I throw to all over the world. Any scientist is free to take up my challenge and prove me wrong. I will prove each of the modern theories are wrong and they can be rectified. I will tell you what it is, where it is wrong, why it is wrong, and I will rectify that through Vedic science. Vedic science is far, far superior than modern science, as we will see now. Next slide. Next slide. Achha. This is the theory of everything or grand unified theory of the Vedas. Om Preti Cheti Cheti. Om is a composite word that describes everything that I am not discussing now because it will take a long time. But Preti is pra a iti. That is Preti. Pra plus a, pra iti Preti. That means Unmesha Sankocho. It is differentiation and cohesion. Pra is moving away. That is Gati. That splitting something into many, one to many. And I is confining, controlling, preventing total disintegration. So it should be integrating that splinters, integrating. So these two are the only things forces. So this is also called Agni Samatmakam Jagat, that is electromagnetic universe. Here, Pra is moving away, that is the nature of Agni. A is Sankoch, bringing in, compressing, that is the nature of Soma. These two, Agni Samatmaka Jagat, these two control everything in the universe. Cheti, Cheti, there are two times mentioned. First, Cheti stands for Pracha Acha Iti. That is, both together. These compressive forces should act together. And the second one is pra-acha iti. They act differently. These compressive and expansive forces, they can act either together or they can act individually. That's why we can explain everything only from this itself. Next slide. There a question was asked in the Vedas. Kasminnu bhagavo vigyante sarvamidam vigyantam bhavatiti. That what is that knowledge by knowing which we can have knowledge about everything. So answer is Dve vidye veditavye. Only we should know only two sciences. One is para, the other is apara. Para is ऋग्वेद चतुर्वेद सामवेद अथर्ववेद शिक्षा कल्प व्याकरण निरुक्त छंद ज्योतिष दिस इज वेद एंड वेदांग अपरा परा जया तद अक्षरम अधिगम्यते ये all this whatever we read that is all about the universe that is para apara that para is tad jat aksharam adhigamyate. That is akshara is the energy principle, the fundamental energy. So that by which we can know about everything about the energy, energy how because energy energizes everything in the universe. So that that is called akshara. Gita says Kshara sarvani bhutani kutastho karamuchyate. All the material world is kshara, perishable. Perishable, so that's why it's called kshara. Kutastho karamuchyate. Energy is not perishable. So it remains inside the matter and it controls everything. So that is kutastho karamuchyate. Then Gita goes on to say further, यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य विभर्त्य व्यय ईश्वर. This matter and energy, they exist in the base of one consciousness that is called abhyaya, that is immutable, that is not only not perishable but it's also immutable. So it is called abhyaya, and this is idam jagat. Then Ishvara also. He is also Ishvara. What is Ishvara? Ishvara is not God. Idam jagaditi kevalam bheda visayini ja vritti tadvan Ishvara padavachya turyam tattvam. So when whatever is clearly perceptible to us, that clear perception of the universe, that is totality of the universe and its clear perception, that is called Ishvara. So since there are many universes, multiple universes, infinite universes, there are infinite Ishvaras also. Ishvaras also. Then स्पष्ट भेद प्रधान भावन स्वभेदेन अवभाषयन् ईश्वर प्रथित. इट इज सेम थिंग. पुरुषम एवेदम सर्वम जद्भूतम जच्च भाव्यम. So this Ishvara is confined. The universe is confined. Whatever is confined, that is called Purusha. पूरी के अंदर एक पूरी मतलब एक confined place. So within that confinement, whatever remains, it is called Purusha. So Karananam Gunanam tu Samyam Prakriti Uchyate. In quantum chromodynamics, we learn about three colors. So these three colors are called in the Vedas Sattva, Raja, Tama. Lohita, Shukla, Krishna. अजम एकम लोहित शुक्ल कृष्णम बहि प्रजा सुजमाना स्वरूपा. So that those three color charges, when they are balancing each other, that is called Prakriti, the primordial nature before the Big Bang. And Tadbhinna Purusha Praktah Purna Sankipta Saktika. Apart from that, matter energy universe, material universe, whatever is the primary base, that is called Purusha, and he is confined, Sankipta Saktika. It is not the totality, because our concept of God is much, much above it. It is Ishvara is not God. There is much beyond that. That is, and that cannot be known. So it is called Nirvishesha. Srishti Vedamai. All this differentiation. Universe is full of differentiation. We can differentiate from one from the other. That's why we call it this Vedamai. Acha. Sanghruti Ashweka Rupini. When everything is in equilibrium, when the matter and energy they are in equilibrium, that is called the before the Big Bang, that situation. uh, from that, this Unmesha Sankocho, this Preti Cheti Cheti, इसी से सब कुछ होता है. Everything it comes into being when this the primordial equilibrium is disturbed by inertia of the previous universe. So we see things from three regions. One is Mahatva. It must not be. It must have dimensions. That is Mahatva. It must have Rupavatva. It must be perceptible. And then Aneka Drabyavatva. There must be more than one thing so that we can see those things. That is the next slide. The third one. Here you will be surprised to know most of the modern science, including string theory, and that is taken from the Vedas only. Here is the one I have quoted from one textbook called Padartha Dharma Sangraha, written by Acharya Prasastapada. From Newton, when he read this, he translated it from Sanskrit to Latin and propagated it as his laws. It is Newton stole it. The original source is here. I have given the original quotation from Sanskrit, followed by his whatever Newton put it as his laws. Here it is the first law is here only. Newton wrote Newton's Latin also is mentioned here. So that Newton's first law is mentioned here. Next slide. Acha. Then since he was stealing it from our laws, our books, without properly understanding it, Newton made some mistakes also. Then second law, whatever he has said, F is equal to ma, that is a wrong concept, because earlier mass was used in a different sense. Mass was the spread of an object, that was called mass. In the Vedas, the term used for this is Bayonadha. Bayonadha means actually volume. So mass is actually volume, not the weight. The kg is the weight, but now they say the unit of mass is kg. That is wrong. Even now, when you go to a church, they conduct mass. Mass is the Latin word meaning spread out. So mass was used to indicate spread, not weight. What they are telling now, content of matter, that is not thing. Mass is the exterior spread, that is called mass. So and weight is the internal energy content. Mass is universal, but weight is individual, unique to each one. Mass is like human, like we say human. So all human are like that. That is mass. But the structure of all humans, that is mass. But inside that, our weight, that is different. So it should be F is equal to not ma, but weight into acceleration. But that he didn't understand, so he wrote it wrongly. But anyway, here is our original Sanskrit, his Latin, and then what the modern interpretation is. Same thing with the third law also. Next slide. अच्छा, here one thing I must clarify. ये कर्म गुरुत्व द्रवत्व प्रयत्न संसर्गजत्व. This is Prasastapad has written it in his Karma Prakaranam in that book. So whenever all action starts due to four reasons only. One is weight, gurutva, dravatva, that is fluidity, then prayatna, that is application of force by a conscious being, and the fourth is sanjogaja, that is interaction. Due to this, all these any action starts due to only these four reasons. Without so, here mass is not mentioned. So Newton couldn't understand it. So he used mass, though actually it should have been weight. The next. बेगो मूर्तिमसु पंचसु द्रव्यसु अच्छा ये इट्स ओवर. नेक्स्ट कर्म. हाँ, नेक्स्ट दैट इज कारणम कार्यते अनेन. हाँ, कार्यते अनेन जेन बिना जन्म होती. दिस इज कॉजालिटी. दिस इज अबाउट द कॉजालिटी. कणाद से कारण अभावात कार्याभाव. देयर विल बी नो इफेक्ट विदाउट कॉज. Not to karya bhavas karana bhava. But if there is no cause, if there is no cause, there can be no effect. But if there is no effect, cause can still be there. So then this karya karana causality is not of one type. It has been broken up into say 13 types. We consider 13 types of causality. हेतुर निमित्तम प्रकृतिश्च योनि. प्रकृतिश्च जोन. अच्छा, हेतु निमित्तम प्रकृतिश्च योनि. अच्छा, हाँ, प्रारब्ध मूले प्रभवद्भवौ तथा विवर्त संचारी रस प्रवाहिकम प्रकृत्य पूर्व समवायिका मता. हेतु निमित्त prakriti joni, like that it goes on 13. So accordingly there are 13 types of karya karana bhava, interaction, and 13 types of interaction also. 13 types of cause effect relationship, hence 13 types of interaction. That is alakyanam chatha vibhuti jogo bandho, like that it goes on. So the first one, alakhyana, it is the hetu, it is the primary cause of everything. Everything came into being from something which cannot be described because it has no specific characteristics to be described as such. For that, Vedas say neti neti. So then, when that cannot be described, the second one is hetu nimitta, and here is vibhuti. Vibhuti sanyoga is vibhuti interaction, that creates abhaya purusha. That is the immutable base from which everything, matter and energy, comes into being. So that abhaya purusha, it comes due to vibhuti samsarga. Vibhuti is when two things interact, where the field dominates and the energy is subordinate to the field. That state is called vibhuti samsarga, and that creates abhaya purusha, where the field, there is field in the Vedic science. There are only two types of fields. One is the universal external field, which is space-time variant, and the second one is internal field. That is, each of us, it's a mental field. It is space-time invariant, and it is number is infinite. We each of us have one such field, mental field, inner field. That is Bahir Jagat, external field, space-time variant, and this is internal field, mental field, space-time invariant. Acha. So then the next is yoga. When two things go in different directions, but the result is in a third direction, that is called yoga. Jैसे a bird flying, its wings, two wings flow in two different directions, but its motion is in a third direction. When such things happen, so that is called yoga sambandha. That when the field and the energy they interact to create something different, like say water and energy flow in the soil, water that creates waves. The wave is neither water nor energy, but it appears differently. Similarly, that is called akshara. Whenever that when both the things interact but look differently, that is called akshara. Hmm. So that is yoga sambandha. That third is bandha. Fourth is bandha. Bandha is that is अलग जो योनि that is alakhyana chatha prabhu hetu nimittam praकृतिश्च joni. That is the joni is the from root from which everything is created. That is called yoni, the utpatti sthana. So here this bandha sambandha, bandha has two divisions. One is granthi sambandha, when the nucleus of two hridaya when they are connected into one perpetually, that is called granthi bandhana sambandha. So granthi bandhana, that is called also chanda, and that chanda entanglement, and that entanglement creates gives mass to everything, not this hypothetical Higgs mechanism. The Higgs mechanism, even if we accept that it works through weak interaction, and the mass through weak interaction, according to modern science, is less almost less than 1% of the total mass. Most of the mass, more than 99% of the total mass, comes from strong interaction. It is a wrong notion that Higgs mechanism gives mass to everything. That's a totally wrong notion. It's a mischief spread unnecessarily, but reality, you ask any scientist whether how much mass is given by Higgs mechanism, they will say it is less than 1%. So it should be ignored. But we say Higgs mechanism is totally, actually it is a fiction. There is nothing like a Higgs field. There is nothing like Higgs field. It is our Bahir Jagat, the one field into external field, Bahir Jagat, that gives mass when this there is bandha sambandha. So sansara bandhana, sorry, granthi bandhana, that gives mass to everything. The other bandhana is sansara bandhana, loose interaction. In a granthi bandhana, you have to join permanently. As long as the object remains, that bandhana remains. But in samsara bandhana, it is totally different. It is loose interaction. Something, two things can join, they can also be separated. It has 6 divisions. Samsara bandhana. And that, so they say now there are 4 fundamental forces of nature. Vedas say 6, not 4. So strong nuclear interaction in the Vedas, they say it is antaryama sambandha. So similarly, that weak interaction, they say both beta decay and alpha decay. Beta decay is in the external level, that is electron belt level, whereas the alpha decay is from the nucleus, proton level. So there are two different. Vedas treat them differently because their origin are totally different. So this beta decay is called Bahirjama, and alpha decay is called Yatojama. The electromagnetic interaction is called upajama. And so gravitation also is considered here, but not as these people say. Gravitation is like two wrestlers trying to push each other outside the ring. So that is called gravitation. Pratidik dharma. So they try to push each other out of the ring. So that is Ujjama against a common barycenter. We know that Prithvi, that the planets do not go around the sun. Planets and the sun, they move around against each other against a common berry point. They move around each other against a common berry point. That is Vedic theory. So they both that berry point is called Urugaya Pratishtha, and this Mahatsoma, that maximum permissible distance is called Mahatsoma. Mahatsoma. Acha. So then the last one is chemical bonding. That modern science doesn't consider this as a part of fundamental interaction. But in chemical bonding, since they follow the same procedure, instead of quarks or atoms, they only atoms merge to form molecules. So chemical bonding is also considered as aptojama. That is also considered as one of the fundamental interactions here. Acha. संग्रहकारी तो वही धारणा आकर्षण है. Here dharana is totally when that is first one granthi bandhanam, that is dharana. When two merge together tightly, that is dharana. Akarshana is when there is a distance between them, it is partly held, partly not held. That is samsara bandhanam. Then yes, so the next slide. Karma gurutva pratna sanjog. That I have to explain. Karma is all actions started after due to four reasons: weight, fluidity, effect of application of force, and interaction. So that is also already I have mentioned. Then fundamental interactions I have already explained. Then next one, Tadvata Rasmihi is Surya Siddhanta. Then now this is about gravitation in the Vedic science. The planets go around the sun in due to not gravitation, but something that Surya Siddhanta says, Prabha Vayu. What is Prabha Vayu? So there are, everything has three parts. The internal part, that is the main body, that is called Bharga. Then we have some personal space around it, which is not a part of the body, but close to the body, which we also can feel. That is called Maha. And the third is called Jasha, which is beyond our personal space, but still then it affects there we can feel. So here everybody has everything, every structure, whether it is life, a stone, a planet, or a human, or anything. Everybody has anything which has a body has these three parts. So when these three parts they can be into seven in joint operation. They can, each one has a its effect, and their joint effects can be in expressed in seven different ways. Individually three, like the charge. So there is a positive charge, there is a negative charge. When both are balanced, that is a neutral charge. So these three can be separate positive, negative, neutral. They can be two each, that will be another three, and the total three altogether, that will be seventh. So that they can be divided into seven parts. So similarly, this Bharga, Maha, and Jasa, they can be divided into seven. Their effects can be divided into seven parts, which affect the body as a whole. See, here we must remember the classification difference between Vayu and Agni. Vayu is that which moves a body as a whole together without disturbing its inner parts. But Agni is that which disturbs the inner parts. So here it is Vayu. So Sapta Vataskanda they are called. Their names are Abaha, Prabah, Sambah, Vibah, Anubah, Parabah, and Paribah. Next, next slide.
ऊपर जो श्लोकटा थिला
Next
तार
slide.
अर्थ कहबे कि ऊपर जो श्लोकटा थिला
Huh?
ऊपर जो श्लोक
कोटा
अछि तद्वातर
ଏଇଟା ସେଇ ଶ୍ଲୋକଟା ହଉଛି ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତର କୋଟେସନ ସ୍ପଷ୍ଟାଧିକାରରେ ଅଛି ତଦ୍ ବାତ ରଶ୍ମି ଏଇ ଯୋଉଟା ଅଛି ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତର ଏଇଟା ଲେଖା କୋଟେସନ ଏଇଟା ତଦ୍ ବାତ ରଶ୍ମି ବି ବଦ୍ଧା ସେ ସଭ୍ୟତର ପାଣି ବି ପ୍ରାକ୍ ପଶ୍ଚାତ୍ ଅପକୃଷ୍ୟନ୍ତେ ଯଥା ସନ୍ मुखम प्रवाहाख्यो मरुत्तासु. I explained that meaning there. I explained that meaning. This is the quotation from Surya Siddhanta, Spashtadhikara.
next slide I will
How planet?
next slide jibi
Next slide. Acha, here it is, I have explained in that how that Sapta Bhataskanda I spoke about. So here it is mentioned how they function differently. What are the differences? Each this is all that it is very easy to know, read out. So you can read out very clearly. It is in English. When all three act together, it called Sambhav. Achha. When Bharga acts alone, it is Abaha. Abaha, it pulls everything within the Maha towards it. This holds us to earth. Its trajectory is called Rekhapatha. This causes a stone thrown upwards fall to the ground in a straight line. This can explain the flyby anomaly. This, when Bharga and Maha act together, it is called Prabaha. That is the reason planets go around the sun due to this only. Its trajectory is called Mandala Patha. It is also called Grahati Graha Sambandha. Acha. It causes the smaller body to revolve around the bigger body. This explains the motion of planets around the sun. Prabhakya Marujastu, etc. That they already in the previous page it is mentioned there. That's it. Then next year it is when all three act together, it is called Sambhaha. The trajectory associated with is called Kakhyapatha and drags the object moving through the Maha towards it. So, when the Pioneer spacecraft about 45 years ago, when it crossed the Jupiter, it was dragged back. So, everywhere that is called Pioneer anomaly. Till now, no one knows what caused this pioneer anomaly. Some people have tried to explain it, but they could not succeed. But here we can explain it. This Sambhaha Vayu that created that anomaly. So then it dragged the pioneer towards the sun spacecraft. Dragged it back. Acha. Then Sun's Maha extends up to Jupiter. Acha, this determines the gravitational constant G. We know there is no theory to calculate the gravitational constant G.